So my name is Kristina Čelke, and today I'm going to represent you how Sociocracy and coaching skills can improve organizational life. I am a coacher and trainer in organizations. I am a leader coach, and I'm going to tell about how to work, how it's important to work with ease and with life and work balance. And also I'll represent our Revive model. We are 4 consultants, and we discovered a new model for organizations, how to have that life and work balance that's very important in our life. And so let's start. And if you have any questions, you can ask at the end of the presentation. I think that we will have enough time to discuss. Before start, so how many hours do we spend at work in our lifetime? Actually, researchers counted that if we live 79, on average we live 79 years, so we spend 92,000 hours at work, and it means that we spend working 13 years. And it's eliminated all the stuff that's weekends and that leisure time or sleeping time. So 13 years of non-stopping working, we work in our lifetime. And also psychologists researched that that it's very important that it is impact from work to family. If we're not satisfied with a work, so everything goes into the family, and we have not good relationship in a family if we are not satisfied with a work. And also satisfaction influence our health. If you know, I know that you know about Google project Aristotle, yes, project where Google invested so much money into the research in order to find out what is the effective team. What's the elements of effective team to have? The most important thing came from the research as a result from the research that it's a psychological safe. If team feels psychological safe, if they feel that they are safe to risk, safe enough to fail and to make some not to be so good at work and to say it loudly. So it's the most important thing. And let's dream, what if we create a workplace where everyone is satisfied, where atmosphere is full of trust and respect of each other, and if everyone feels psychological safe at work, what it will be. And let's have a look at the nature. I love these examples that not every animal live in the bounds, in the groups, but some of them does that. And for example, birds and for example, geese, they fly in a formation of V letter. And they do that. They have a leader in front of them formation. But why they fly in that formation? Because flying in V format creates the uplift for the birds that follow. And it's better to fly in that format. It's better to reach the target flying in that way. And even more, if leader goose are tired, one is going rotate and go back, and instead of him, another goose go for a leadership. And when one goose is sick, 2 geese follow it. They help that goose to get better. And what we can learn from it, geese also have feelings as human have. And we can learn from them that being together is a power. that being together, we can reach much more. So being as an effective team, we can create something totally new and totally worth. And if we have clear direction and if we have a leadership, it's very important, but much more important that leader rotates. And to be a leader is learning, but to follow, it's also a learning. And of course, it's very important to help each other, as Goose does. And as I mentioned, learning to follow is as important as learning to lead. The other example is starlings. If you ever seen the starling flight in murmuration, they do that because it's more safe for them. It creates safety from enemies. If they are in a big one group, so for eagle, it's very difficult to enter to that group and to grab one bird. If they gather together, it keeps warm, because usually they fly in murmuration during winter time and even during the night, so it keeps warmer. And actually, researchers find out that in that way, they change information. They change information about food. And what's the most interesting fact, that they really move in a very, very big group and very, very quickly. So they never crash into each other. And researchers find out that mostly they do that through the process of self-organization. What we can learn from starlings, and can we imagine that if we work more as collective brain, because starlings are not so intelligent as people is, but that collective brain helps them to reach what they want. What if we achieve collective impact, that any individual role will have impact into the whole group, into the whole team, and to have the collective result of that? What if we connect to each other in different way, in a real way, in relationships such not as usual as always? And if we share information, if we exchange information, if we exchange experience very, very briefly, very accurate, so we could create something entirely new. And when Henry Ford told that coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, but working together is success. So how to be successful, to work in a team, how to achieve these results and to feel comfortable, to feel very good in that team. And it's a good example of iceberg. When it's above the water, what we want to have. Yes, we want natural living. We want work and life balance to have. We want work with ease, and we want act at one's best. But under the water, there is much more to do. There is many things to do and many things to learn, as to have coaching skills, learning, active listening, leadership, to learn to lead and to learn to follow, self-awareness, to rise self-awareness, very good communication, trust of each other, emotions, to express one's emotion and to find out what the other things think, about empathy, engagement, conflict resolution, constructive resolve conflicts, reflection, relations, collaboration. And I called all that stuff sociocracy, because it's like Sociocracy has all that things that we can create in the organization. And talking about Sociocracy and coaching aims, they are really relative to having coaching culture. It's like it fulfills Sociocracy governance. The aim of Sociocracy is creating a quality of connection that supports needs getting met through natural giving. The aim of coaching existential, it's responding to the dilemmas of living and acting in greater harmony with chosen goals and aspiration. So the key word is harmony for coaching, and for Sociocracy, natural giving. And Sociocracy and coaching skills are effective when its business environment changes rapidly, when organization structure is changing, when there is a new need of learning for team, for a leader, when it's a high level of uncertainty for organization, when there is full of risk and problems and uncertainty for the future. And talking about coaching culture and organization, the main leader's competence that has to improve is about more asking, not answering questions. Asking team what to think about that, how we can improve that, how we can reach that result in your way, in a better way. And of course, active listening skills, because communication is not about talking, it's about listening, how we can listen to others' need. And teams and personal competences are about self-evaluation, how everyone teammate can evaluate himself, what was wrong, what was not in that way that he or she wanted, and how they can improve that, and asking that questions himself. And interest in anything that can improve work. So it's like an engagement, how I can improve my working skills, how can I improve the processes that I work for. And of course, not afraid for asking help. It's very important then teammates are very open and they are helping each other. But it's a very important thing that to ask for a help. Open to others. It's about exchanging information, exchanging knowledges, and accepting that knowledge, accepting that information and experience of others. And of course, asking for a feedback and willing to accept it. Asking for feedback is a difficult way, but it's very important for the person who wants to grow, who wants to get feedback from the others, how they see him or her in their eyes. And of course, willing to accept all that feedback or just a part of it in order to grow, to rise self-awareness. And in the next slide, I will talk about Revive model. That model came to us, to 4 of our colleagues in a COVID situation. And when we collaborate together and talked what the value we can create for our clients being together, not being alone. Because being alone, it's like just one thing you can afford, you can suggest for a client, but being together, we can create much more. So Revive model consists of 5 steps, 5 elements. The first one is about empathy. Empathy, how to go from ego to empathy. And the second one step is about structured process, how to go from chaotic organization to clearly structured processes. The third one, focus, from blind to focus processes. And the fourth one is about direction, not micromanagement of leadership, but to show direction and to go to that direction. And the fifth one, it's about learning from stuck situation, go to the learning. And 5 of them, they are called, the first one is called just simple reconnect, recalibrate, refocus, reinforce, and reflect. On the next slide, I will show you just the whole Revive model with these names. And each step, for example, reconnect, recalibrate, refocus, reinforce, and reflect, has competences inside of them and has a clear questions how to measure in which situation organization is. So I'll represent just part of the competences in each step, because there are lots of them. And so reconnect has such competences. It's compassion, integrity, and trust, and listening. And there is much more, as I told. It's like a hygienic, it's like to brush a teeth every morning. It's so important to talk with their teammates together. How often they go with each other and talk, how they listen to each other. The second one is recalibrate. It's creativity, competence, timely decision making, organizational agility, and there are some much more. So it's about decisions, how team is involved into the decision making, how their opinion are accepted into the decision making process. The third one, refocus, has such a competences as managerial courage, dealing with paradox, perspective, and some others that I didn't put into this slide. Refocus talks about how goals and how team knows about goals, and do they have criteria that they measure that goals, and how they know that they succeeded in one or two things that they reached. Do all teammates know about that? Reinforced step is talking about these competences as motivating others, directing others, drive for results, and there are, as I mentioned, much more competences. And it's about motivation, but not motivation financial, but like empowerment, empower team to act, empower them, how they are free to make a decision in acting their role, in doing their job and their work. And the last one, it's much more important than others for me, it's reflect. It's about ethic and values. It's about learning on the fly. It's about work and life balance, competences, and there are some more. And reflection, how organization often meets together, teammates meet, and how often do they reflect about their processes, about their work, about how they act, and about what they can improve for the future, that they will go far farther than they are at the moment. And actually each step has questions, has statements, and it's about more than 40 statements, and we send to the organization the answer to them. And when we look at the results, there is a red light that there is something wrong with reconnection step, or if there is something wrong with reinforcement step. So we go deeper with the interview with the leadership or with the team. And the second, what we do, we make recommendations. What can be done next? What the organization needs that can be done for the improvement according to these steps. And of course, implementation, yes, we do facilitation, but what I want to say that implementation is coaching, creating coaching culture, and of course, sociocracy. There is not much more organization that they want sociocracy, and they know that they want. So just from step to step, we maybe recommend to have a facilitation meeting, to improve meeting that they can achieve results. So we just took part of sociocracy instrument, and we give them as a recommendation and implementation. So I am almost at the end, and what I would like to say that it's very important for organization to work with the life and work balance, and to work with ease for all team. And it's my dream to have such organizations, that to work with these organizations, that they really go through all these steps, and they create culture that everyone feels very good.